Hi, it's Patricia from the Southwest Yankee. What some middle-aged woman will do. The canoe trip. Extrovert, introvert, Southwest, Northeast. All these words are going to come into play. Light moment. Physical exercise is of some value, but godliness is valuable in every way, in the present life, in the life to come. 1 Timothy 4:8. So, I went canoeing this past weekend in the Southwest with a extrovert and an introvert. So we are going to be talking about how all these things come into play. So we'll start out with the most important thing. We went to the river and they had, which we're going to be talking about how the river, is how this word comes into play. According to the guide, when we went to go get the canoes, it's really not a river, but it's called a river. So we'll get to that in a minute, but we got to talk about the first thing I always have to get out of the way is the alligator thing. Okay, I was at camp a few years ago and we had a guest speaker for the older kids, was a policeman, and he was talking about a policeman friend of his that a lake that we were at a few years ago, but he had gotten the alligator a few years before that out of that lake. So always, anything near the water, and then they had a beach in Free something, Port Away or something, that there was an alligator at the beach in the water. So it's not, out of the scope of reason that I would bring up alligators. So I said to, the workmen handing out the canoes, the paddle boards, and the kayaks, have you seen any? He's like, no, we don't have any, you're good. And then, by the way, I thought I'd tell you, this is not really a river. I'm like, what do you mean? It says river. We drove up. He goes, no. They dammed it off in 3 places. So he says, technically, this is a lake. And I cannot reiterate enough that here in Texas, there's only one real lake. And I'll put all the other fingers down. One real lake, and the rest of them are man-made. Okay, so, yeah. So, I haven't gotten out to do that many activities because of the heat. So, growing up in the Northeast, we were out all year. Like, fall, winter, spring, summer, we were always out. So, being an outdoorsy girl and then coming into the 115, but I'll make it a little nicer with the weather. It's between 85 and 95 on a good day for a little short time. But today it was 99 and it had a hot breeze, like hot. It was crazy. It was 101. Okay, I digress. Okay, so what happened was, so we're at the lake, we get the canoes. I'm with an extrovert. I went with one of my social groups because, I'm an extrovert, so I already started another social group with some other ladies. So this was another group that I found out about and I joined up with them. So they happen to be canoeing, kayaking, and you know, those board things that you can do the paddle on it. Paddle board? I don't know what it's called. But it looks like a surfboard or you know, windsurfing board, but you stand on it with a paddle. So they were there too. So we all went out together and did that. So I went with another lady and I went together, and we're both extroverts. So even before we even go, we're calling, texting each other. Oh, do you have your hat? Do you got your sunblock? And, you know, and it gets better. So we get in the canoe, and I just, every time I talked, I put my oar down. I don't know what she was doing, but there was just a lot of talking. And at one point, one of the other people there, one of the other guys was in a kayak, a single kayak near us. And we just kept talking. So it's just like, you really have to keep the canoe straight. So it just kept drifting. And like, he would like push it back and out of the way. And then she'd kind of take the oar, and then he'd push it out of the way. It just kept aiming that way. But we just kept talking. And it wasn't like anybody was freaked out. It was like, oh, look, it kind of went in. So we were talking away, and all of a sudden, on further down the river lake, the canoe started going into the side, like, you know, with a, you know, soil and the grasses and the birds. And it just kind of, and we're like, oh no. So we push up against that. And then I said, wow, we really got to watch out, because there's kind of like a cement blocks like coming out a little. So we really got to pay attention right here. And then we can go back to drifting again. So then we turn around, because one of the dams, like all of a sudden, I don't know if there was a drop off. I don't know. We didn't make it that far down, because I saw the sign that said, turn around, don't drown. So I was like, well, I'm not going to get that close. So we ended up turning around. That's when the kayaking thing happened. But it gets better. So then they have this huge duck, because we did it back east, where you put the ducks in, and I guess they pull it up and you like win a prize. So they had this big duck there. So she says, we gotta get a picture taken. And I'm like, we gotta get a picture taken. So next to it. So literally there's like a line of those paddle boards. Oh, I get the name right now. the thing. The paddle boat. Then there's the kayaks. And the canoe comes. Here we come. And it was like, I didn't even like say, you know, how should we get in there? Like, I didn't even like get the words out of my mouth. She plows right through. And it was like, nobody even blinked. I'm like, we're just gonna, it's a free-for-all. We're just gonna like, you know, drive anywhere we want on this. So, you know, we get the pitches and get that done. So then I'm like, this is awesome. And they were doing it by the hour. So I'm like, you know what? You know, she had to run because she had a birthday party. And I had to catch up with one of my Breakfast Club lady friends, one of my besties down here. And I was thinking, I think I want to go back and do this. So this is where the introvert comes in. So then I'm thinking, you know, we went down, and she even said when we were there, my extrovert, you know, buddy pal with sharing the canoe, I hope no one asks us if there were birds, because we'll say we didn't know because we were talking so much. So I get my son the next day, and I said, you know, after church, they're having a luncheon, but we'll go to church, grab the luncheon, and then run over to the river lake and, go canoeing. So this is what happens when it's not 115. So I pick them up, we go, and as you see, there's gonna be some really cool pictures because, he's focused, he's the introvert. He knows, how to go up to the bird in the boat and how to get the good picture and, the canoe straight. And, as I'm waving and talking to all the other boats going by, hey, how's it going? Oh, you got your girls with you? I got my son, yay. But he's got that boat going straight. We're not going everywhere. We get to pull over, take some pictures. So you'll get those. So our next installment is going to be on what we did on our way back from canoeing, my son and I. So I didn't seem like I had a long story with him, so he gets to be in the next episode. So remember to subscribe. Bye.